Hey, BR10155 here. Last video showed you how to set up your LinuxMint machine for remote administration through remote desktop protocol. Now I'm going to show you how to set up file shares with Samba, which is the built-in Windows networking program, protocol server, whatever you want to call it. Samba is built into almost every Linux Mint distribution. Okay, so first thing you got to do is you got to make a decision, and that is, what am I going to share? So we're going to go ahead and open up uh, the file manager, which is called Thunar, by the way. Don't ask me why, but that's what it's called. Open up the file manager, and by default it's going to open to your home folder. So you got to decide, what am I going to share? In my case, I created a folder called Movies, and I put some movies in there that I eventually want to share. You can share any of these folders, or you can create your own. It doesn't matter. If you want to create a folder, all you got to do is right click and hit create folder, and you can leave it as the default new folder. You can call it Bob, you can call it Alice, you could call it Joe, you could just call it Jay. It doesn't matter. But that's how you create a folder. Anyway, in this example, we're going to share movies. So we'll close that out. Don't worry, we're going to open it up again here in a minute. Only this time we're going to open it up with administrative privileges. Okay. Caveat. Most of these Linux videos I try to show people the graphical way to do things. If there's a graphical tool, I'll show you how to use a graphical tool. However, some things, even now in 2014, some things are just easier to do from a command line and by editing the configuration file directly in a text editor. It's just the way it is. Samba sharing is one of those things. So, without further ado, we're going to open up the file manager, only this time with administrative privileges. So go ahead and open up your terminal emulator. This is equivalent to the command prompt window for Windows users, only a lot more powerful. And to open up your file manager with administrative privileges, you're going to type GKSU. That's GKSU. That stands for GK Super User. Don't ask me what the GK stands for. Thunar. I told you that's the name of the file manager. And it's going to open up with a warning that you're using the root account. Don't worry about it. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to the file system root, and then we're going to open up this folder called etc. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as etc. And we're going to browse to Samba. Okay. On a base Linux Mint installation, you will only see two files in this folder. This one and this one. This is the one we're going to manipulate. This one here is one I created that has the settings that we're going to change to allow sharing on the network. Okay, first thing you want to do is go ahead and back up the default configuration file. You do that so in case you mess something up, you can go back and you have a base to work with. And it's just a matter of doing a copy So now you're going to open this up and edit it. And to save ourselves a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and open up this smb.conf.ex file. As you can see, it opens as a tab inside the text editor window. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out so that you can see them side by side. Scooch that out of the way some. Okay, so now we can see them side by side. Alright. In your smb.conf file, scroll down, Global Settings. You want to change this workgroup equal workgroup to the name of your Windows workgroup. In this case, I call my Windows workgroup Mikey Caleb after my two sons. So we're going to replace that. Now we're going to add two more lines underneath here. Net BIOS name and a force user option. This is the name that the Windows work. This is your Windows workgroup name of your Linux machine. Call it whatever you want. And I'll go ahead and move that over so that it lines up nice and neat. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to change a parameter that some people will tell you don't do because it's not secure, but it's the only thing that, it's the only way I can make it work. And I'll just leave it at that. Now we're going to scroll down to, I think I might have missed it, authentication. Do this one line at a time here. Pass networking, don't worry about that. Debugging, don't worry about that. Authentication. Okay. Just a quick comment about these hashtags or pound signs you see at the side. That means that the line is commented out. It means the system is going to ignore everything on that line that sees preceded by that hashtag. A semicolon means the same thing as well, if you see that. I'm going to get rid of that hashtag, and I'm going to change security from security equal user to security equal share. As you can see, I have in my example file. Okay. Alright. Now I'm going to go to the very bottom of the file, and this is where I'm going to define my shares. And I've already got them defined in this folder. See where it says share, and then I have a share defined. I'm just going to go, I'm going to cut and paste that over, or copy and paste that over, and I'll explain it after I get it pasted over. Okay. This share inside the square brackets, what that line does is it tells the system, hey, this is my share. Okay, path equals this line, path equals home/Brian/movies. That's the path to the folder I shared. And this is pretty intuitive, I think. Writable equals yes means yes, you can write to it. Browsable, yes, that means you can see it. Guest OK, that allows guest users into that folder. Public equal yes, available equal yes. I'm not quite sure what those do, if anything, because I think browsable already pretty much defines those, but the reason why they're in there, I've seen those on a couple of other examples, and I put them in, and it doesn't hurt anything. So, now that we have what we've done here is we've basically given the system a Windows network name. It will join it to the work group, to our Windows work group, and we've defined the share. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and save it. And we'll close it out. And at this point, you can go ahead and close out the file manager. Alright, back to the command prompt. So there's a command called testparm that it means test parameters, and it's going to run a quick audit and make sure that everything you've got is okay. Again, the warning, security equals share option is deprecated. Don't worry about that. Hit enter again, and it's going to show you what you got shared. By default, it'll share printers that you have. It'll share printers that you have connected to your system, all that. Don't worry about that. But share, it's got the path in there. Read only equals no. I guess when I put writable in there, I guess that did that. Anyway, no big glaring errors that's saying it's going to crash the system, so I guess we're okay. So now we're going to restart our Samba services, and we do that with I believe the command is sudo service Samba restart. Okay, so you hit a sudo service Samba restart, and now your share should be available to your Windows network. Let's test that out, shall we? We'll go ahead and minimize my my RDP connection. We'll go ahead and come over here to network. Would you look at that, Brian LM Virtual. And there's my share. And there's my movies. Fair warning up front. Sometimes this will not always come up inside your network immediately. It won't be immediately viewable to the network if you use that shortcut. But another way you can map to it. And the way you do that is down here in your search line, // the IP address to that shared machine, And there it is. And so that you can always get to it from your Windows computer, you can go ahead and map a network drive the same way. Uh, I I did the same thing. Sometimes I do that. No, that's right. Backslash backslash 172.31.1. And there it is. And now I have set up my Linux Mint box. It's basically now a Windows file share. And that's really all there is to it. I apologize for having to use the command line and the command line and editing a text file, but really, honestly, that's just the easiest way to set up Samba in LinuxMint, or really any Linux distribution. That's the end of part 2, and in the next part, we're finally going to get into setting up the media server, XBMC, which is where this series of videos has been going. It's BR Tidwell 55. Thanks for watching.